The turkey, the football, the mashed potatoes that one family member really rocks at making. Stuff we all expect on Thanksgiving. But what if I told you the reason we have a nationwide Thanksgiving is because one woman wrote one letter and refused to quit until the holiday stuck? Stick around because this year we're digging into how that letter changed more than your dinner plan. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this episode, we're doing something a little different. We're doing a Thanksgiving deep dive. Okay. So, we're going to talk about Thanksgiving, that it's more than just turkey and family gatherings, the idea of national holidays, unity, and tradition. So this whole thing is about it's a story, really. It's a short story about Sarah Joseph Hale, uh, 19th century editor and writer, and how her effort helped establish Thanksgiving as a national holiday. So let's uh let's get into this, shall we? So first thing is first. Let's do a little bit about Sarah herself, Sarah Joseph Hale. Sarah Joseph Hale was born in New Hampshire in 1788. Unusual for her time. She was very far educated, more than most young women from her era, because her parents believed in equal education for women and men. So she was the sharpest knife in the drawer, per se. She became a writer, an editor, and an activist, best known for writing in the nursery rhyme. And this one's you probably never heard of this. She wrote the nursery rhyme "Mary Had a Little Lamb." You know the one. You guys know the one. She actually was the one who wrote that one herself. So, and the more you know, the more you know. So she married David Hale, an attorney, sorry, and had 5 children, which is crazy even by today's standards. Uh, he died young, leaving her to manage her career and family on her own. So she was one of those mom slash dad role models, and it's kind of sort of fitting because being that she was also not just a writer and an activist. I'm sorry, writer and editor. She was also an activist. So I guess that's like a uh, she just played a very gigantic role in the family. So congrats to her for doing what she did. Despite her progressive stance in some areas, and such as women's education and slavery at the time, she still held some traditional views, socially conservative, believing women should focus influence on home, family, rather than politics like suffrage. So she not only did she was very well educated, and she's just because I'm assuming because she uh became a w- what's it called, a single mom. She a widow, I guess you could say. I guess that's maybe that kind of where that's came from, how she just kind of had like the mentality where women maybe should keep it a little easy as well. But being that she had a large um what's the word I'm looking for here? She had a very large uh ar- not I was gonna say archery. That's not the word I'm looking for. She had an huge library of skills, or arsenal of skills. Library what? She had a huge arsenal of skills, and but when you're just a single parent, I guess you kind of start slowly thinking that direction. I suppose. I'm assuming. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Now let's get into a little bit of Haley's editor and advocate role. She became editor of Godey's Ladies book. Um, this is just like I'm not very too familiar into that. So if anybody, any history buffs out there who happen to be watching, have any idea about Godey's Ladies book, let me know. Uh, a huge influential women's magazine in the 19th century. Just that's just a little bit about it. Um, through that position, she had a platform, not just for fashion and household tips, but for her ideas, women's education, property ownership, and ending slavery. And you can kind of maybe sort of already guess who she will probably end up, you know, getting involved with just by that last thing that she, one of her ideas that she's putting out there in this woman's magazine out there. She used the magazine and her influence to push the notion of a unified Thanksgiving holiday. At that time, Thanksgiving or days of Thanksgiving were mostly regional scattered. She wrote letters, editorials, and campaigned for many years. In fact, to be even more precise, I think she she did all of that for like about, I want to say, exactly 17 years. 17 17 years, man. It took to get Thanksgiving on the fucking calendar. That is determination, dude. That is determination to just, that's just mind blowing. That long to get a president to just listen to you. I apologize for the noise there, but that's super crazy. 17 goddamn years, man. It's insane, dude. It's insane. And in September of 1863, she wrote it to President Abraham Lincoln, saying, "You may have observed that for some years past, there has been increasing interest to have the Thanksgiving held on the same day in all states." She hoped that the permanency and unity of our great American festival of Thanksgiving would be forever secured. So again, it took 17 years. 17 years for this to happen, dude. It's insane. It is crazy. Now let's get into the next little segment here. Lincoln's Proclamation and the Road to National Holiday. Um, in 1863, President Lincoln issued a proclamation on October 3rd, telling October 3rd, I believe that's a Mean Girls reference. Let me know if you know. Uh, October 3rd, telling citizens to observe the last Thursday of November next year as a day of Thanksgiving and praise. So that's when she actually convinced Sir Lincoln to get the ball rolling, right? Um, this came during the Civil War, a divided nation. Hale's advocacy happens in the context of national crisis. So whether it happened because of the like I mentioned, the crisis of the Civil War, and they were just like doing it to just kind of sort of, you know, what I guess we could like use the media, I guess, as an example. Like they kind of just kind of threw it out there to just kind of lighten the mood a bit. Well, because of the Civil War, if you think about it that way, that's kind of, oh, it kind of makes sense because there was a war happening, and they were just like, you know what, this kind of seems like a good idea. Just kind of like, you know, ease things a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That kind of makes sense to me a little bit. a little bit. But nonetheless, you know, she got shit done. She got shit done, man. And then in 1870, Congress made Thanksgiving a national holiday. And later in 1941, the current date, uh, fourth Thursday of November, was codified. It was codified. So a magazine editor, persistent letters, a president, a cool one at that, and a war is the reason why your tia nags at you to bring your abuela's tamales. I guess you could say. So, I mean, that's there you have it, man. There you have it. There you freaking have it. So when Lincoln finally made it official, it's like a president. It's like a president reposting your tweet and saying, you know what? Let's make this a law. You know what I mean? Like it's and Sarah really did show a lot of persistency, and that persistence actually hit the right ear, at the right time, at the time, of course, right? And that's how this whole Thanksgiving even, happened, dude. But anyways, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on to why this story matters today. Some of y'all thinking like maybe like, man, what is this? What is real podcast about, bro? What is this, a history lesson? You know what? Like, I thought it was interesting. Like, it took the work that it took to actually make this happen, and we'll get a little bit more into this. Um, let's see. Why does this matter today? Many of you all know. Many of you all know the first Thanksgiving, the Pilgrims, Native Americans, but less on the modern institution of Thanksgiving making. So, Hale's work shows holidays are not just tradition, they are constructed, influenced by media, politics, and culture. And because of her persistence and all the letters that she just happened to write, Thanksgiving isn't just food. It's all, the get-togethers, the well, maybe it's a little bit about the food. I mean, honestly, like who are we kidding here? Like, it's a little bit about the food. But besides all that, it's the giving thanks in the family, and also you got a lot of like good, I guess, like TV marathons. I guess. I mean, we got NFL games, right? We got NFL games. We got a lot of branding commercials, and my bad, I hit the microphone. A lot of branding commercials and stuff like that, and like, I mean, another one that we got is like what, Black Friday. Yeah, Black yeah, Black Friday. Black Friday wouldn't exist without Thanksgiving. I mean, all these are kind of like, I mean, they're not exactly a representation of Thanksgiving, but like there's that, and of course there's like values and all this good conversations that we have in Thanksgiving, stuff like that. All that good stuff. Now let's move on. Let's move it right on. Uh, Hale's contradictions and complexity. So let's look into that. Even though Hale supported women's education and property rights, she opposed women's suffrage. She believed influence should stay in home and family. That was her beliefs. Historical figures are, well, this kind of like shows us that historical figures are a little complex. We can celebrate contributions while recognizing limits. Like Haley supported education, but not suffrage. That's like today's influencers who talk about empowerment, but avoid politics. You can respect the hustle and still call out the contradictions. She is also proof people can be messy, but can be legends at the same time. She also taught us that you can push progress in one direction and still be stuck in another. Kind of like me saying, I don't know, I'll cut back on drinking while planning a booze and chill Thanksgiving special or something along those lines. She also taught us that she wasn't perfect, but she left a very long lasting impact. She also showed that authenticity doesn't mean flawlessness, it means showing the full picture. Now, here's a quick question for you guys. If you could pick one thing to make a national day, what would that be? National No Work Monday, National, I don't know, National Booze and Chill Day. I don't know. National Margarita and Chill Day, National Taco Day. I mean, I think we already have all that. Now that I think about it. But anyways, let me know what holiday tradition in your family that you didn't realize had a story behind it, and maybe I'll feature it in the next uh Buzzcast episode. Well, this was not exactly the longest video podcast. This is just something a little info, a little FYI for all of you out there listening. Uh, didn't want to go a little too much into it, also because there was not a lot of info on this. I just thought it was a very interesting story. We got kind of cool facts about Sarah and the fact that she actually uh, wrote to Abraham Lincoln. Really cool. One of my favorite presidents. So that's pretty cool. Just a little bit of Thanksgiving history for you all. And like I said, this is all for this video podcast. I will catch you guys in the next one. And I'm gonna go ahead and keep finishing my coffee here. This is my second coffee of the day. So cheers to everybody out there. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry it was a real short one, but again, it's not a lot of information on this. And yeah, that's it for that, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. And remember, if you keep watching, um, uh, I'm gonna keep drinking coffee in this case. Cheers.